Hey, everybody. Wait until you see and hear who I have with me today. His name is David. He's a great friend of mine. We've done some work together. So without further ado, David, would you please introduce yourself to everybody listening out there?
Thank you, Francesca. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to talk with you. I'm David Thompson, and I am a marketing and branding professional, and some would say expert. I'll leave that in others' hands to judge. I run a consultancy for marketing that does marketing strategy for business to business. And what we're probably going to be talking about today is my work as a career coach. I own a firm called Career Coach Pros. Then that is an outgrowth of teaching at Temple University and teaching personal branding and helping people gain confidence. So I saw the lack of preparation that people have for the job market or in the transition market when they're looking to go from career to career. And I started this firm to help people understand the power of their own personal brand and to gain the belief in themselves to achieve what they want.
Yes. And I was so honored and flattered when you had me as a guest presenter in that class. And I have to tell you, you do such an amazing job with the students that by the end of the semester, they have such a strong grasp on who they are and what they're looking for. Like, you are able to instill clarity in their purpose, which I think is truly amazing. And that transformation is incredible. And one of the things that you and I often talk about is the confidence, the confidence that you build in the system of your coaching practice and this incredible branding class that you teach at Temple. Tell us a little bit more about what works and what you've seen.
That it's such a great question, because I'll start by saying, first of all, we all know that the college time is such a transformational period for kids. They're going from high school at the age of 16 to not driving, to maybe dealing with pimples still, to choosing, graduating, choosing a college, choosing a career, getting through college, and then going out on their own and starting to pay for their own lives. That's a 6-year period of intense growing up. And so lack of confidence is such a huge issue, and insecurity, because they're operating often without a plan, and they're growing up, and there's just so much happening in their lives. So it's really a fun opportunity to be a confidence creator and help guide them through a process in which they'll better understand themselves, map out their future that can always be changed and adapted, but at least give them the goals to start off with. But the other aspect of this is lack of confidence and insecurity knows no age, category, or title.
Amen. Wow. Amen.
So
Knows no age.
Yeah, you've spoken about it with the imposter syndrome,
right?
And people not believing that they deserve to be where they are. And we see that a lot in those folks in mid-career transitioning or going into another, transitioning from one job to another or one industry to another. They don't believe they are qualified, and they lack the confidence to tell the story that will resonate with their potential new employers. So it's really fascinating to see how much a lack of confidence and a non-belief in people hinders them in moving forward.
Right. There's that imposter syndrome again that knows no age. Like, who am I to do this? Why am I worthy? Why should I be the one? So we have to work on that. And the fact that you present that to them at an impressionable age where we get to practice that, because it is a practice, David. Would you agree? I mean, it's all through practice. It's kind of like yoga is a practice, and we need to work on these talents and the skills, and just know that some days are going to be better than others, but we're going to look for more of those better days, right?
For sure. But it is a practice. And when you talk about aspects of building your brand and networking and believing in yourself, there has to be an intentionality to that. You have to set that intention every single day. And often couple of times a day, depending on what your situation is. If you're going into a big meeting or doing a presentation, then or having an interview. So it's a practice, and we unfortunately live in a world, as you know, that everyone goes on the internet and they Google something and expect to get 5 quick tips. 5 quick tips to do X, Y, and Z, and take the shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in building your brand, building your confidence, and creating your future. It's a practice.
There's no shortcuts. Amen to that. There are no shortcuts. And you just mentioned another thing is what we do, what we're in the habit of doing because of social media. It's easy we compare ourselves. And that's, again, where we start to doubt ourselves, because we compare ourselves to someone who may give the perception that they're more successful, and we compare ourselves to who that person looks like and where they may be. And in our mind, we've created this block, and we need to just revisit that practice of strength and confidence for sure, right?
It's about removing the side conversations in your head that say, I'm not good enough. There's too many people that have applied for this. I'll never get that. There's too much for me to learn. So we all are plagued by a lack of belief, but more importantly, the voice in our head that says, cast doubt on what we're trying to do. And why put up any more barriers for ourselves than what is already ahead of us in real life? So don't fight yourself. Don't fight yourself. Believe in yourself so you can look forward and not be trying to overcome 2 barriers.
Right. Amen. Wow. So many great tips. Typically, I sum up, interviews with 3 great tips at 3 takeaways. I think I'm going to have more for this episode. So fair warning to all of those listening and have listened to previous episodes, because we need to continue to practice and not be our own enemy, right? Not fight ourselves at all. And then finding that within ourselves makes working and dealing with the next person that much smoother. And that's what we want, right? That's what we want and need and deserve. We all deserve
is the right word. Yes, I love that.
Yeah, right? We all deserve that for sure. So it's so hard. I wrote some notes in our last conversations. There's always a pre-interview process. You spoke of self-discovery and self-awareness. We're bringing all of these pieces together and to help ourselves become stronger. I mean, so much has changed in the past 18 months. There's no denying. But what should be the same is believing in ourselves over and over and over, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one question I love to ask, and I kind of warned you that there was going to be a question that you didn't know the answer to or weren't prepared. So, this is about dressing on the outside, right? I firmly believe that we dress on the outside how we feel on the inside, right? It's that masterclass that you and I created, happiness is an inside job. So here's my question. What is your favorite piece of clothing or accessory of all time? And how does it make you feel?
Oh boy, that is a stumper. What is that? My favorite piece of clothing of all time.
All time. It could be an accessory too.
I'm going to step back and say a bathing suit is my favorite piece of clothing.
Okay.
I love water. I love swimming. I love the power and energy of the ocean. And I feel whole and meditative when I'm in the water. So if I'm in a bathing suit, that means that I'm going to have a whole body experience. And really something that drives and fuels me on a weekly basis.
That's incredible. And that's how you can step into your power. So it's interesting. So you'll work out before the workday or at the end, and you just bring yourself back to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So
great question, by the way.
Thank you, by the way. And which is why I don't like to necessarily give you the advance notice because I just want like the honest answer. And you gave that to us, right? And you can do that with or without that power pose that you and I have talked about, right? With the hands on the hips, the Amy Cuddy power pose, air quotes, by the way, for those people who can't see us, but there are different ways that we can step into that. So thank you for explaining that, because there are all different places that we can step into our power. So David, you are a plethora of resources, positive energy. If someone wanted to reach out to you and just have a conversation about your coaching, about your class, and just wanted to have a conversation with you, where is the best place for people to find you?
Sure, thank you. I would suggest Career Coach Pros, the website, careercoachpros.com, my email, david@careercoachpros.com. And you can always reach out to me through LinkedIn and send a note with your request.
Right. So LinkedIn protocol, right? Don't just connect, send a little message, right? So I will certainly put all of that hyperlink information in the show notes so that people don't have to work hard to find that. As always, my time with you was so pleasurable, David. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you're doing, and honored to know you. Thank you so much for today.
Well, thank you, Francesca. I look forward to our next conversation. As always, it's always a learning experience for me as well.
Oh, thank you.